I want to hear from her. A little bit about yourself and why you're running.
Thank you. You have one of the best chairs that I've worked with in the state. You should be very proud. My name is Annette Bosworth, and I am a born and raised South Dakotan from Huntington, South Dakota. I was interviewing for medical school over 15 years ago now, when they said, "Why do you want to be a doctor?" And I said, "I hate hog chores." And I think that says something about, I grew up on a farm where we worked as a family, and we I had no paved pathway to medical school, but that was a dream. I love people. I love caring for people. And through my journey of that drive to become the best in my field, I have taken those talents to something called population health. I'm an internal medicine physician, and my whole training has been to get paid for better outcomes. So a lot like what Obamacare was touted as being, is to pay for the physicians to do a better job of taking care of America. And if that's what Obamacare was, I would be all for it. I have never touched a paper chart, and in the process have been on the leading side of change in a very stuck thinking of medicine. Several have asked me, how can you go from medicine to politics? I'm like, I'm not sure I'm going to notice the difference. There is an amazing amount of politics that happens in the way your healthcare is delivered, the number of people that make choices about your healthcare that you don't even get consulted on, that if we try to implement and we don't have the permissions from the people, you will pay for it or you won't get it. In that same process, I have spent the last 18 months preparing for Obamacare. I'm an independent physician. I have a MacBook that I will take into the homes of patients, that I go into the shelters, that I see patients in jail. I take care of everything from mental health to addiction health, because I know that if I want the best outcomes for my patients with diabetes and high blood pressure and cancer, that you must take care of their addiction, you must take care of their mental health, you must really care about the whole person. And through the process of having implementation of Obamacare by October 1 of 2014, I remember the moment in the spring where I felt suffocated, that they were going to ask me to do some of the things Obamacare asks me to do with your information. That I collect the information under this protected, private, intimate relationship between a patient and a doctor. And Obamacare will add 159 regulatory boards between me and the patient. And that's when I said, if not me, then who? To do something about caring for that relationship and keeping it protected. The amount of reports that I will send to the IRS, because this is a tax about you, so that in 10 years, when they are allocating the care, when we're looking at who will get the dialysis units, there's only so many we can give out. They will look back to see, did your chart have depression in it? Did your chart have alcoholism in it? Did you have a time where your family was dysfunctional? And I'd like you to define that. How many ways we can define that? And so I said, I am going to do something about it. I have the most to lose. I have a love affair with healthcare, with medicine, with being there for patients. And there will be no such thing when this is fully implemented. So when I announced that I was considering the run, one of my dear friends said, "You can't be a Republican. You care for people." And I said, and therein lies the problem with our politics in this country. That the labels that go behind these titles of Republican or Democrat, they shouldn't be, they should be. Does it improve the process holistically for the patient, for the people, or does it hurt them? And I sit on the front lines of many of the entitlement programs, from food stamps to Medicaid to having other, your homes, their mortgages, housing development. And you'll see patients who have all 3 or 4 layers of entitlement programs, and they are getting their meth somehow. They are still stuck in a that when an entitlement program is set forth without an attrition, without a way to graduate them off of it, it is based in falsehoods, that it did not improve the process. There must be a way that they graduate off of these, because it only creates a level where the patient, in my case, becomes very dependent on the money and the process, and then stops having the drive to really be the all-American dream. And so I run for the United States Senate, where there is a big fight in the United States Senate. Healthcare will be decided in that group. It takes a lot for me to leave one of the things I love the most, which is being a physician. But if I could do it in a way that protects the right between the patient and the physician, the next 10 years will decide. This law is not yet fully written. For the first 3 years they've written it, and yet it has over 70% of the details that have not been written. In the people writing it, it should be those who care for America in a way that is truly in the front lines, on the front lines of the delivery process. And so I enter a race where the experts say I can't win, that I have never been before. But in medicine, we have a saying that the definition of an insane person is someone who continues to do the same thing over and over and over again and expects different results. And I think that's what happens when we send these groomed politicians who have been so far away from the front service lines, who have plenty of relationships with what it means to be courted by the lobbyist, for he who pays the most gets my vote. I am not like that. I have stood up to government, I have stood up for patients, and I will continue to stand for them because I am a mother. And I have 3 kids that I know need to see what America really looks like. And if we don't have people protecting that freedom, they won't know what America looks like either. So I ask for your support. Thank you.
There was a Revolutionary War flag that had the saying on it, "Don't tread on me." Would you be proud on a photo op to stand up beside a band?